Whoa! Awesome stuff. Thank you for coming out tonight. You're all looking absolutely amazing. Are you ready for an amazing show? Good stuff. Here's the show. The show is about the year I had last year. Big revelation I came to firstly is I'm a hairy man. Yeah. Any other hairy men out there? And what's your name, sir? What? What was your name? Kyle. Oh, nice to meet you, Kyle. Where are you from?
Originally from
Northern Ireland. Apologies. Wasn't me, it was my dad. No. That is a terrible start to the evening. Nice to meet you, Kyle. You haven't come here on a vendetta, have you? I've been following you around all fucking year, pal. Your kneecaps are going to be mine, son. You fucking watch it, mate. Kyle, you're here with your lovely... Is that a pink shirt from you, my friend? Yes, what's your name? Andrew. English? No. Oh, sorry? Guernsey. Oh, inbred. Nice. Northern Ireland and Guernsey copulating together. That's nicer. And who is your drug dealer that you've met? What's your name, sir? You're dressed funky, man. That's the thing. I don't think you should be at my gig. You should be, like, selling ketamine to someone's girlfriend in a smoking area. The audience aren't quite settled or sure what to do with the show. I don't know what you want tonight. What sort of vibe do you want? Do you want chicken korma or vindaloo spice level? What are we going for? Vindaloo, right. Yogurt, naan bread. Strap the fuck in. Let's do this. Kyle, you hairy man? No. Ooh, neck down alopecia. Nice. He's like a seal. What are you like on a slip and slide? He's gone. I've got very hairy legs. That's my thing. Yeah. I've got a very sort of Narnia vibe. You know him? Do you remember him? Mr. Thomas. Ooh, come on, Lucy. Ooh, come on. Come back to mine for tea, toast, and cake. I'm definitely not a sex offender. Come with me. I didn't know how hairy I was until it was last July. It was that week we had a summer. Do you remember that? It was great. So I had my legs out, I had my shorts on, I was sat on the London Underground. Then the woman next to me just started playing with my leg hair. I know, just twiddling it back and forth, like that, with a little finger and thumb. Look in the other direction. Just... in her own little world. And I was just like, madam. And I swear, she turned to me and went, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought that was my cardigan. She thought my legs were her cardigan. Do you know how mortifying that is for everybody involved? It's mortifying for her because she's just assaulted a man. It's mortifying for me because it means I've got legs you can put buttons on and sell at John Lewis. I had half a mind when it was my stop just to grab her by the bingo wing and just... What are you doing? Oh, sorry, madam, I thought that was my rucksack. Here's the big news as well last year. The big news, I quit booze. Yeah, that's 10% of the audience going, woo! Everyone's going, what? You stopped poisoning yourself regularly? You're raw dogging life? That's not how you get through life. It was only for 3 months. I'm back on it. Hey, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's hard giving up alcohol in our country because it's everywhere. You're happy, have a drink. You're sad, have a drink. Weddings, funerals. I went to a christening last year and had Jaeger bombs. That wasn't weird. I had 5 of them. Everyone did. The mum, the dad, the vicar. The baby had 3. Sticking mainly to pints. No, I was binging. I was a binge drinker. I was going out till 3 in the morning, then passing out face down in a kebab. Like a decent British citizen. Getting up at 2 in the afternoon. When I wasn't, I was in bed by 12, I was up at 8 o'clock, and everyone was like, that's the best thing, Tom. 6 extra hours to do what you want with. Do you know what I realised? I do not need 6 extra hours. I am not a complicated man. The early bird catches the worm. Yeah, for 20 minutes. Then for the rest of the day, he sits in his pants with his hairy legs out, eating pickled onion Monster Munch out of his belly button. watching Friends repeats. I've realised that getting up at 2 in the afternoon gives me the perfect amount of time to get up, have breakfast, play Zelda, knock one out, and get to the Bloomsbury Theatre. I don't need any more. Sorry, Andrew, you really did get that. So, you and Kyle quite enjoyed it, yeah? Remember honeymoon? This is the rest of the show, by the way. This is all I do. This is it. You know, comedians would get cancelled for doing this, you know? Oh, do you want some as well, do you? Is that what you're going with? No, it's all right. No, if this was backstage, I'd be arrested. On stage, this is art. Nah, I was. And I'll tell you why I gave up drinking. In the space of 2 months last year, I went on 3 stag do's. Yeah, that's one woman. Yay! That's a little peek behind the curtain of your mentality. I mean, we know stag do's. Carl, you been on a stag do? Yeah, you have. Yeah, Matt, have you been on any stag do's? Yeah, cool. Yeah, you know. Matt's got fucking Zante tattooed across his arm. The Beast of Benidorm, that's what they call him. Sticky Vicky wept on her deathbed from her. So you're familiar with the artist Sticky Vicky? Yeah, I know, stag do's are awful, because what we know is stag do's are all basically a bunch of men meeting up in the name of love, finding the stag and trying to do as much irreparable damage to him as they possibly can, preferably in a foreign country so they clear up. There were 3 really elaborate stag do's I went on. The first one I went on was to Las Vegas for 6 nights with 27 lads. Yeah, toxic? No. Because all of the guys were a combination of Irish, Scottish, Geordies, and me. It was a storm, and I was the teacup. We arrived at the airport at 5:30 in the morning, because that's where the cheapest plane tickets are. Straight to the terminal. My sexuality was immediately questioned, because I purchased a panini. We had 6 pints before we even gotten on the plane. By the 3rd pint, I was like, is this a good idea? Then one of the guys will do a chicken noise, which means you have to do it. They're the rules, because we're adult men. Anything you don't want to do, just... Right? Remember, getting 6 nights, guys. That's quite a lot of nights. Are we sure that's the right amount of nights? And then one of the guys was like, oh, don't worry, mate. Don't worry. Don't worry. There was one Jamaican guy there as well. Don't worry, mate. Who are you? I'm the groom's half cousin. Oh. They're like, don't worry, mate. We'll just pace ourselves. Has a bigger lie ever been said by a bunch of men on a stag do than the phrase, we'll pace ourselves? As soon as the plane hit the tarmac, it was like, right, drink it, down it, punch it, sniff it, fuck it. Just verbs, do a verb, verbs, more verbs. Cut to 5:30 in the morning on the first evening. We're all there crouched on the hotel floor in our pants going, we should probably cancel go-karting at 9. Second night, didn't sleep at all. Third night, the whole group had just turned into like a prisoner of war camp. Just a bunch of men sat around a table comparing bits of their body that no longer worked. Have you seen my spleen? Anyone? My spleen? I think I left it in Hooters. The fourth night, I looked at some of the footage we've been taking on our phones. I thought I was watching Saw 4 for the first 10 minutes. Like, this is us. It looked like someone had redone The Walking Dead, but the costume department was by Fred Perry. The fifth night, I don't mind admitting this, I was so done with the group. When they went out, I secretly separated from them, went back to my hotel room on my own, and just watched Matilda on Netflix. That's so pathetic. They were out there getting absolutely smashed, and I was there in the fetal position in my duvet, just rocking back and forth, going, when I grow up, when I grow up, when I grow up. What a loser. The second stag do I went on, this is a curveball, the second stag do I went on was to Korea. Which one? I didn't think that needed qualifying. It wasn't North Korea. It wasn't me and my privately educated mates in Kim Jong-un tearing up Pyongyang. Yes! Kim. All L-plates and cockstraws. Yeah! Kim's got a traffic cone on his head. Come on, you English bastards! Day 2, Dennis Rodman pops out of a cake. What the fuck? He made it! Hey, you guys want to see the bunker? Come on, show us the bunker, show us the bunker. Should I push the button? Push the button! Push the button! Push the button! Push the button! No, I can't. It's naughty. Go on, mate, push it! No, South Korea. Still a weird choice, because the reason we went there is because the stag was Korean. Yeah, because I know people look at me and hear my accent and assume all my friends are white. They're not, actually. There was one foreign exchange kid at my boarding school. Then the third stag do we went on was to San Sebastian. Yes, in Spain, much nicer. My eatery is much more my style. That was notable because it was on the same weekend as the King's coronation. Okay, well, we have a king in this country. How excited are we about that now? Yeah, 10% of you. The patriotism is beaming off this room. Do we like the royal family? Yeah, okay. I mean, that is a split audience, isn't it? Obviously, recent events happening. We wish them a speedy recovery. Of course we do. Of course we do. And if they don't, we'll just Photoshop them in. It'll be fine. Comedy. I get why the royal family is problematic. I love the royal family. But then my dad's a lord. And I lived in the Tower of London for 7 years. I mean, I can afford to. Best landlady I ever had. But I get why the youth don't. The thing about the royal family now is I think we know too much about them. They're too real, they're too human. There's no, like, majesty and mystery anymore. Like, back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean the 1400s. When everyone was mad and still believed in dragons and stuff. Back then, the coronation of a king would be this amazing event. The king would come out in his crown, his robes, and his jewels out to the public, and all the peasants in the mud huts would hop out. They gather their families around. Quick, come on! Quick. My children, quick, come on! Elizabeth! Hoggis! Other old people names, quick, come on! Put your turnip soup down! We'll bury your brother later, quick! Son, climb up on my hump! And look with your good eye. There's a king. He's been ordained by God. Yes, God. You know God. He's the one that gave you tuberculosis. That's what they really used to believe. That the king had been ordained by God. Whereas nowadays, it's very hard for us to look at Charles and feel like he's been heaven sent. Well, that's who the Lord bestowed upon us, is it? Fucking sausage fingers. Old Bratwurst hands, is that what we've got? You've seen his hands, haven't you? You've seen his hands? You've seen his hands? Yeah, I mean, look, I know it's an illness, but you wouldn't want the fucker in a thumb war. Godzilla thumbs, he'd take your arm off. So the coronation, for me, was a chance just to step back and objectively look at the traditions of our country and go, that is mental. The whole thing seemed to me to be a bunch of people with titles that I recognised, from places that I sort of recognised, transporting different household items around, all of which had two adjectives attached to them that sort of sounded like a word I might have heard once. So, and now, the Reverend of Thrakenbury is transporting the cup of remedial temporalization. Over to the Archduke of Thwistle-under-Mine. And the microwave of Serempipitus, Mistonce, Stomastafix, Stimon, Stimestafung, Chelistiation. You're making this shit up. They're not real words. If this was Scrabble, they would not be getting through. They were introducing all the titles. They were there, like, here comes a lord, and here's a duke, and here's a baron. At one point, I fully expected them to go, and now a wizard turned up. Merlin's here, didn't expect him, that's pretty good. The doors swung open, there was Charles in his dressing gown and slippers. Sceptre in one hand, and an orb. An orb. That's what we gave our kid, an orb. I'll say that again, an orb. We gave him an orb, like a gold ball with a crucifix. Like, what in the worms, Armageddon, holy hand grenade? Do you remember that? Fatality. Hallelujah. Orb. That's what we gave him. And he started walking down Westminster Abbey. Everyone got their hymn books out, and the whole country started singing, Vagina! Didn't we? Vagina! 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 Okay, some of you clearly didn't watch the coronation. I'll explain. Right, the word we were meant to sing was Regina, which means royal or regal. But in our country, we've got this thing called banter. And it sounds a tiny bit like the word vagina, so the whole nation just went, nope, vagina! 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 And the BBC were trying to be as woke and progressive as possible. Do you notice that? Because they had that controversy with Meghan fitting in, and they were definitely culpable to an extent. And they were trying to overcompensate so blatantly. Like, even the camera angles they picked. Like, there were loads of different choirs there. And they were like, and here's a choir. And here's another choir. And here's another choir. And here's the gospel choir. Focus as long as we can on the gospel choir. Hey, look how gossiply we are on the BBC. We love the gospel choir. Focus as long as we can on these guys before we get to the very problematic white balcony. There's the gospel choir. Fucking Jesus. What? It was patronising for everyone involved. Even the pan across the congregation, they dwelt on any non-white face just a little bit longer. It was. They were like, and here is a black person. And here's another black person. Here's a brown person. Ginger, nonce, black person. You guys send Vid Deleuze, so don't you dare back it like you go, ooh! We're not too sure how we feel about that one. Come on, we're ready for a bit of spice tonight? Okay, cool, right, come on, let's do it. My dad was part of the service. Yeah, he was the nonce. He wasn't! He wasn't before you started going, oh no, he wasn't. We all know who that was. We've all got an uncle. No. Now, my father, the former Chief of Defence Staff and the ex-Constable of the Tower of London, so he got to hold a sword. Yeah, the sword of temporal justice. I don't know what that means either. All I know is he used to beat me with it as a child. He stood next to Penny Mordaunt, although, yeah, she's the only one anyone remembers, because she dressed like a Thunderbird for some reason. Didn't she? Did you see it? It was like, who the hell sent you? Virgil? My dad's a very high-achieving man. I'm always living under his shadow. I'm always trying to impress him and get one up on him. And it's tough. I'm a clown. But it happened. An amazing thing happened on the day of the coronation. Now, I wasn't at the coronation. I was on a stag do of my mate James, drinking from the pint of continual consumption, eating the paella of dubious content, as my friends dug into the bag of relentless conversation. Now, as I said, last January I was in a Netflix reality TV show called The Circle. Thank you. And so, well, you know, it's a trashy reality TV show. It's a show, though, that many a publication have described as the most exciting, genre-redefining show in the reality TV genre. Or as my dad described it, 10 minutes into the first episode, as a complete load of shite. Supportive dad. But I got my own back on him, because on the day of the King's coronation, his big moment stood up there. Hello magazine published an article, the title of which verbatim read, King Charles invites star of Netflix The Circle's dad to be part of the coronation. Take that, Daddy-O! You owe me everything, old man! You're up there not because of 44 years military service, not because you pissed around in the Tower of London for 7 years. You're up there because I went on Netflix and did some fire hashtags, baby. That's what happened. Last January, Charles and Camilla were back in Buckingham Palace, having Netflix and chill. She's in the kitchen plucking a swan for supper or whatever the fuck, I don't know what it is. He's there on the couch flicking through the channels with difficulty. Camilla, Cammy, Simon, quick, come have a look. Ew! I'm watching this boy. He's absolutely incredible. I can't take my eyes off him. We must invite his father to be part of the coronation. What sort of program is this, Charles? It's called reality TV. Reality? What's reality? I've got absolutely no idea. I think it's a northern thing. But is the show any good? The show? Oh, God, no, the show's not good. The show's an absolute car crash. Oh, well, I like them. That is my favourite reaction as an audience, by the way. The Is everybody else laughing? If they're all laughing, it's fine. Is they laughing? Cool, go. Ha! I think the struggle we're going through in our country, and indeed the world, is the wrestle between tradition and progress. Tradition, they're the habits you form as a society, the build-up that makes the thread of the tapestry that is your nation's identity. And progress, identifying the more problematic elements of that, shedding them, and move forward to make a more fair, equal society. Tradition and progress. The monarchy is a perfect example of that. It is old, it is archaic, but it is part of our nation's identity. People ask, at what point does the monarchy become unjustifiable? Now, a lot of people would say it already has. Looking at you, Northern Ireland. It's Londonderry. Personally, I think the day the monarchy will become completely unjustifiable is the day that Prince George, our 10-year-old future monarch, starts making TikToks. Can you imagine if he then gets in? And you'll join us here on Christmas Day as we go live to the King's Twitch stream to see his address to the nation. Please don't give up now, now, now. I won't give up now, now, now. Let me love you. I think I like this little life.
We're 8 years out of Brexit and we're...
And I think it's a shame, because I think Prince George, he's the key to modernising the monarchy. They tried it with Meghan, let's just agree that worked out for fucking nobody. But George, he could do it. He's the key, he'd get the youth involved. The best thing that could happen to modernise our monarchy, Prince George, gay. Right? Yeah, we've never had an openly gay monarch before. And they couldn't stop it now, could they? Right? We're ready for a gay monarch, am I right? A little bit homophobic at the back, am I right? Yeah, and hey, look at him. There's potential. Have you seen it? Have you seen him? Yeah. Yes, Andrew, look at that rosy-cheeked, soft-lipped, floppy-haired cherub. There's potential. I don't want to get all Philip Schofield about this, but there is definitely potential. I don't want to get all Epstein Island about this, but there is definitely... Imagine they send him off to boarding school, he arrives at Eton, eating dick. Late at night in the dormitories, he's experimenting, biscuits are flying around, promises are being made. One day he loses his virginity to some 17-year-old second row behind the hockey pavilion. Yeah, turn over, your highness, I want to lick you like a stamp. They send him off on his gap year, smashes his way around Cambodia and Indonesia, Take some lovers there. Can I come back to England with you, George? Oh no, pow pow. The beastly media, they'd eat you alive. You saw what they did to my uncle, and let's be honest, by now, probably his ex-wife. I will always love you, Georgie. We'll always have Phuket. Flies back to Chelsea, reignites with an old flame, some centre-parted flop called Hugh, in a gilet and a scarf and one of those belts that's got pheasants going around the edge. That guy. They get married, it's in the papers, the secret's out, everyone knows. Then King Charles tops it, then King William tops it. It's Georgie boy's turn. Then we get to have a gay coronation. Fucking yas, bitch. We're ready for a gay coronation, am I right? Yeah! I mean, let's be honest. The coronation's already pretty gay. There's only so many jewels and robes you can cart around before it starts looking a little bit like a Lady Gaga concert. A scepter is not a straight implement. Neither's an orb. The big day comes, the doors swing open, there's Georgie boy all bejazzled up and down. Shaft in one hand, cupping the other. Just starts RuPauling it down the centre. Everyone's singing from the hymn books. Penis! Penises! Penises! The BBC are like, and here's a choir, and here's another choir. It's pronounced queer. Oh, sorry! Sorry, we're still cool on the BBC, we're still cool, sorry. The stained glass windows are cascading rainbow beams of light everywhere. Paninis are flying around. Grinders pinging off left, right, and centre. The priests and vicars can finally be themselves. He gets to the throne, they put a crown on his head, he grabs Hugh's hand, they both stand up, and for the first time in our country's history, we have 2 queens. How amazing is that? The other reason I had to quit drinking. Back on it. It was a very healing year for me last year, a very healing one. At the beginning of last year, I went through a breakup. It's sad, I know. I'm not going to lecture about how bad breakups are. They're awful. It's a grieving process is what you're going through. You're grieving a loss. It's never talked about that severely, but it really is. And my advice, no contact. Like, on social media, don't go stalking them and finding what they're up to. That will torture you. That's what makes it, that's what makes it worse than, I mean, look, a death is bad, right? Obviously, that's awful. I'm not belittling that. And then you say goodbye and you have the funeral. But then, unlike a breakup, once you've had the funeral, it is then very, 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 very rare for the body to listen to some Lizzo, have a glow up, start making it out into the town with some other recently deceased, #unaliving and thriving. Yeah. Bumping into them. Oh my God, have you lost weight? Doing jelly shots with the barman they told you wasn't a threat. That doesn't happen. And you'll go on their Instagram. Yeah, you will, because you're sad and you're lonely and you've got 6 extra hours to kill. You'll be figuring out if they're dating, your imagination will be going wild. Every story they post, whenever they go into a restaurant, if they post up that picture they take of the restaurant table, you'll be checking every single reflective surface to see if you can see someone else's face. And yeah, you all do it, Yeah, is she with someone over there? Look, I can see. She's with a guy, that's a man's face. I can see it there in the reflection. I can see it, she's with a man. Oh God, and he's handsome as well. How is he so goddamn handsome? His reflection's in a spoon. I tortured myself for so long. Any picture my ex would post with another bloke, I'd be on the guy's Instagram feed as well, scrolling down his wall. desperately looking for any sign of an LGBTQ alliance, please. Please, just be an air steward or something. Work on a cruise, that'd be lovely. Painted fingernails, we'll take it. I'll be honest with you, this is how desperate I got. This is rock bottom. So my ex was German. Well, she still is. She hasn't just banged me and become Nigerian.
Remember me?
Oh, fuck. The accents are funny. They are funny. I can't do them, but I'm going to keep doing them. No, so my ex is German, so when we were together, she'd post all her Instagram stories in English, so I'd feel involved. But then when I wasn't involved, she started posting only in German. And I don't speak German. This is how desperate I got. 3 in the morning one night, I downloaded Google Translate. And I just sat there into the depths of the night in my pants crying, deciphering German messages like Alan Turing in the Enigma code. And your imagination's running wild, and translators aren't reliable. Like the pronouns he and it in German are really similar. So she'd post an innocent picture of her having a coffee, and the caption would come back translated as, "He tastes amazing!" Oh no! She's sucking off Starbucks! Ah! So no contact. That's my advice. Cut the habits. Progress. I still love her. And she loves me. Sorry. So am I. It's the last thing we said to each other. But love isn't enough. Ask anyone who's been in a long-term relationship. Love isn't all you need. John Lennon was talking absolute shite. It's a constant choice you make to be with someone, but there's the practicality, there's the nitty-grittiness of the whole thing. But all that stuff, that doesn't sound as cool and sexy in a song. Do you know what I mean? All you need is a convenient geographical location at the right time with a like-minded person, but then to consistently adapt and evolve conversationally together towards a shared mutual goal. Doesn't sound right. Hasn't got the same like rhythm, does it? Now, there were just some things that were missing from our relationship. Like, I mean, the English Channel's a cock block, I can tell you that. She struggled going out with me because I'm a comedian, and not just because she's German. Didn't help. But she always used to go, the thing is going out with you, Tom, whenever we go and do anything, you're always trying to turn it into a stand-up comedy routine. So that's not fair. I don't try and turn everything into a stand-up comedy routine. She's like, yeah, you do. Every date, every activity we do, you're trying to make it into a bit that you use on stage. I was like, I don't always do that with everything. She's like, Tom, when we're having a conversation, I can see you in the back of your mind trying to make it into a thing you use on your next tour. So I don't do that. She's like, you're doing it right now. What do you mean I'm doing it right now? Right now, you're trying to make a way that you can put this conversation into your tour routine because you haven't written any jokes and you've got to eat up some time. And I was like, I'm like, what sort of sham comedian do you think I am? She's like, yeah, you will, and you make yourself sound really articulate and intelligent, and me look like an idiot. And I said, Julia, I am through with entertaining this fabricated fallacy of intellectual grandeur you have taken with me. Purely in service of your own primitive Hobbesian ineptitude. Then I kicked my skateboard up. I rolled off into the sunset. And she was just stood there going, doo, 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 doo. Because she's an idiot. Nah, she's not an idiot. She's one of the most intelligent, funny, beautiful people I've ever met. And I'm genuinely grateful for the time we spent together. And that's what you've got to look at it as. Like, if a relationship comes to an end, it's not a failure. It's a lesson. And you take what you learn and you move on to the next thing and you make that better. You progress. She taught me so much. She was a very forward-thinking woman. And I went to an all-boys boarding school from the age of 6 in the Lake District in the 90s. That is a royal flush of not a good start. I didn't even talk to a girl properly until I was 17. We used to tell ghost stories about women. We did, in the all-boys dormitories with the lights out and our torches shone in our faces. Have you heard? My dad says they go out at night in packs. And they drink white wine. And they turn into werewolves. They bleed for 6 days. I did that joke a couple of tour shows ago, and a woman from the back went, 7? No, look, I didn't realize I was a straight, white, privileged man growing up. Because everyone around me was a straight, white, privileged man. So I was just normal. Do you know what I mean? There were a few secret Panini fans, I'm sure, but... It's only when you get older and you realize actually where you sit in the great scheme of things that you realize what that means, and you start, wanting to be progressive. And I actually realize I'm a lot more progressive naturally than I ever thought I was, especially when I'm drunk. I'm really progressive when I'm drunk. So like plural pronouns, they're like the hot topic of the moment, aren't they? And feel the tension in the room. Everyone in London's going, oh my God, why is he talking about this? He's going to cancel himself. What the hell's going on? No, the they, them pronouns. And people are like, oh, you can't refer to yourself as a plural. Yeah, you can. I've been doing that for 25 years. Tell me in here who hasn't been at an event or a party and had 3 bottles of wine too many or a couple of too many shots or a toke on something that sent them doolally, then had to run into the bathroom and look at themselves in the mirror and go, what the fuck did we just do, Tom? Oh, God, we are in trouble, buddy. You and I, we are going home. Just keep walking through the marquee. Ignore the crying bridesmaids. They'll be fine. They'll find a fire extinguisher. You and I, we are getting in the Uber. When I was a younger man, though, I just thought I knew everything. You do when you're younger. It's the confidence of youth. You know everything, and every hill you'll die on. Like, it's definitely this, and it's definitely this, and it's definitely this. You're so sure. And as you get older, you realize the grayness of the world. You're like, oh, I don't know, actually, I'm not sure. And your opinions, they change, and you're less... Look, I mean, Matt, how old are you? 39, right. So you're like my sort of age. You're my age. That's the man who's not comfortable with growing older. Yeah, it's sort of similar to me, yeah? Cool. You'll be going through the same thing as me then, Matt, with with my opinions. I've realized, as I've gotten older, my opinions have aged and matured in the same way as my erections. No, because when I was a teenager, I used to have opinions about everything. I did, it wouldn't even matter. I'd just rock up. What's happening? Here's my opinion. Here's another opinion. Here's another one. Just dishing it out willy-nilly. Whacking it all over the internet. There's another opinion. It was never based on any first-hand knowledge. Spontaneously having them on car journeys. But then as I've gotten older, I've lived a life. I've traveled the world. I've met other people. They've shown me their opinions. Made me question my own. Turns out, Matt, in the great scheme of things, I'm not sure my opinion's quite as good as I thought it was. And when put under a hard light and scrutinized, I'm not going to lie, my opinion isn't always that structurally sound, I'll be honest. So nowadays, even when the time comes for me to actually have an opinion, I won't always have one immediately. So I might go away, really take my time, really try and work one out. And formulate a solid one. And then I won't just go shoving it in people's faces. I'll just maybe share it with, someone I trust. Or more often than not, just keep my opinions to myself. My dad says after 20, 30, 40 years of marriage, you don't even get to have an opinion. You'll move on from them. Not my opinions. No. The breakup, you'll move on from them. You can, and you will. You just got to choose to progress. I've moved on from every relationship I've ever had. And I was married once. Yeah. I mean, we were 6 years old, and it was under a climbing frame. It's still mad to me! Still counted. It was the next door neighbour's daughter, Rebecca Grimshaw. She found out we had the same birthday as each other, and that was good enough for her. Just rocked up at my door one day, ding dong, we have the same birthday, we're getting married. Okay! She took me down to the play park underneath the climbing frame. Her younger sister read out the vows. It wasn't cute. She was 5 years old and dyslexic. It was a nightmare. Billy, beloved! Ugh. Rebecca had her toys on one side, I had my toys on the other. Optimus Prime was my best man. How fucking cool is that? Rings by Haribo. Had a honeymoon on the seesaws. It was good. Had its ups and downs. Yeah, thank you. Sat there and looked over at the older kids on the swings. I thought, yeah. Maybe in a few years, if the marriage needs spicing up, we'll give that a go. It's a swingers joke that only like 10% of the audience get. And hey, more power to you, no judgment here. The key to a happy marriage is in a bowl with a bunch of other keys. Now, it was marital bliss for literally days. And then it came to a head. It was one Halloween. We went trick-or-treating together, holding hands, carrying our buckets around the neighborhood. And then we filled up with sweets. We went back home. We said goodbye. She went to her house. I went to mine. And then 20 minutes later, she turned up at my front door again with a pillow under her top, told me she was pregnant, so needed my sweets as well because she was eating for two. So what? What? And I had no idea how you got pregnant. I was like, what? How did you get pregnant? She's like, oh, it's because we held hands on the walk. That's how you get pregnant. Well, but we were so careful. We wore gloves. But they were those mitten gloves with the finger bit. Yeah. A digit slip through. Just strap up, guys. That's what I was saying. Strap up out there. Don't want to get in that situation. Just providing for a mum-to-be, sweet after sweet, while holding down 5 sets of cartoons. It's a tough life. So eventually, she drained me dry. And she left me, discarded me. Sweetless and empty. like the shop front of a latter-day Woolworths. And do you know what I found out a little while later? After not talking to me, she'd married another boy. I know, she was 29, they met at university. But what was I going to do there? I couldn't rock up and interrupt the service, could I? Does anyone here know of any lawful reason why these two should not? Yeah! You're still married to me, you pick-a-mix-grabbing whore! I want to see my son! There's a pillow with a smiley face in the corner. Daniel, get off me, get off me! Pillow's clearly black. Was it all a lie? I demand a thread count! I don't know what that bit means. Now, I've been thinking about childhood and innocence recently a lot, because I've got a 4-year-old nephew, and he's called Hugo. Of course he fucking is. And he's amazing. He's just the magic of our family. I love him so much. But, like, he's just got no worries. He's so carefree. He's got no idea. He's got no idea of the trauma that life will inevitably throw at him. I went back home last year to see him, and I went out to the back garden. I was just watching him run around the back lawn with no trousers on. And my sister came out, and she was like, Tom, put some trousers on. Rules. I think we gave him his first bit of trauma recently. Yeah, Christmas Day as well. Good day for trauma. Don't know why you'd be relating to so much, that's amazing. Yeah, Christmas Day, good day for trauma. So basically, he's 4 years old, so his imagination is really vivid now. Also, he gets who's giving him what present. So I had to actually give him a good one, because it matters. So his favourite thing at the moment is Spider-Man. He absolutely loves Spider-Man. So I thought, million uncle points, I'm going to get us matching Spider-Man outfits. Yeah, and then I'll rock him on the day dressed as Spider-Man and jump out like, hey, Hugo, it's me, Spider-Man. And be like, oh my God, the real Spider-Man? Yeah, definitely. Look, there's your costume, buddy. Let's go shoot some bad guys. By the way, your Uncle Tom, he's really the high-achieving one in the family. I knew it! Granddad's a loser! And it'd be brilliant. But my plan was scuppered, a curveball, because my mum, who had had 12 glasses of sherry and was out of her fucking box, intercepted me and was like, Tom, shh. Tom, you know how you're about to dress as Spider-Man? Yes, Mum. Well, do you think it would be funnier? What about instead of you dressing as a Spider-Man? Why don't I dress as a Spider-Man? Do you think it'd be funny? And I was like, yes, I think that would be very funny. So I gave her the Spider-Man outfit. She went upstairs to get changed, and I got Hugo. Come on, Hugo. Come here, mate. We've got a surprise for you. Come to the foot of the stairs. Right, you know who your favourite guy is in the whole world? Well, we've got a special guest. He's come all the way on Christmas Day just to see you, buddy. Yeah, look up there. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Here's Spider-Man. And my mum jumped out like, hey! And he burst into tears. Like, he clocked it, just sort of figured out, he just looked at it like, Aah! I was like, oh my God, why is he crying? And then it dawned on me, his imagination is so vivid, and in his head, Spider-Man is meant to have the body of a 17-year-old, lithe, athletic, teenage, web-slinging boy. Not what the fuck just jumped out at him, which was the deformed figure of a 70-year-old, paralytic, arthritic, 2 hip operationed, titted woman. Her mask was on floppy, she had a Rod Stewart hair sticking out the zip, bottle of sherry in one hand, a glove she hadn't put on like a Finding Nemo flipper, neither great power or responsibility, just coming down the stairs singing the theme tune like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a Spider... He was like, what the fuck has happened to Spider-Man? Oh my God, someone's hurt Spider-Man! She was trying to do the web slinging noises like the... but she's got no elasticity in her lips because she's nearly dead. So she was just going... Can Spider-Man have a hug? Scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Then she waited until she was about a foot away from him. She saw him crying, so she ripped her mask off. Like, don't worry, Hugo, it's your grandma. Bloodshot eyes, red wine teeth. He was like, what the fuck is going on? Grandma, Spider-Man, what the... And that's good for him. That trauma's good because Grandma, Gigi, she was his safe space. She was perfect. She was wonderful. She was home. Nothing wrong with Grandma. Then suddenly, this is the real me, Hugo! And that'll prepare him. Because later on when he's older, he's going to get his first ever girlfriend. And she'll be perfect and wonderful and brilliant. Nothing wrong with her. Then one night, he'll stay in and she'll go out with her mates. And she'll have white wine. And he'll be like, I wonder when Sarah's coming back. Then 3 in the morning, this is the real me, Hugo! And he'll be like, oh, I get it! I know this vibe, I know what to do now. Come in, I still love you. Lie down, have some food, sober up, let's make love. I need to ring Grandma now for some reason. It's good for him, Matt. It is, because without that trauma, do you know what he is? He's just that scared little boy on his own in the all-boys dormitories with the lights out and the torch in his face. Matthew. It's me, Matthew. I'm your first ever girlfriend, Matthew. You gotta treat me well, Matthew. This is the real me. You don't want to end up like these two, Matthew. Look at them with their his and hers blue and pink shirts on. This is the future, Matthew. But stay with me, Matthew. Now fuck me, Matthew. Fuck me. Hey, let's sit in the front row. Maybe we'll get involved. Are you all right, Matthew? You didn't love it, yeah, fair. Well, it meant a lot to me. Give Matthew a round of applause. How amazing that. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed the show? Thank you so much for coming out. It's been absolutely amazing. This is generally a dream come true. Hey, I don't think you ever move on from anything. I think it just becomes you, and you bring it on to the future. And whatever you're going through in the audience out there, whether or not it is a relationship with alcohol that's not ideal, or a bereavement, or a breakup, or maybe you're a 4-year-old boy who's realizing you should never meet your heroes. You can progress, you can move on, and I hope you do. I wish you all the best. Don't write a show about it. That is definitely my advice. But coming out on tour and performing to you in this theatre, it means the world to me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, it's Friday night, we're ready to go out, but I've got time for one more story. Would you like one more story? Okay, this story I'm going to tell... Pardon? As you were? Good. We'll have You're fine. Debatable, but okay. Last 10 minutes, we're there. Cool. This final story, I'm going to tell you a story about a man that I admire the most in this world and what he went through and how he managed to move on. He's my best friend. And his name's Henry. Hooray. He's not a Hoover. Before anyone shouts that out again. Ha ha ha, Chelmsford. And he's my best friend. He's also my longest friend as far as time served. He's 5'7". Do you know him? If you knew him, you'd know he's 5'8", but I've said 7 just to piss him off. And he's my best friend. I met him when I showed him around the all-boys boarding school at 7 years old. Now, it was a very turbulent time for both of us because he was the new kid at a boarding school and I had just come out of a very toxic marriage. And we were the perfect combination as far as best friends because he was the loyal, true, trustworthy, reliable, grateful, kind one. And I was the show-off, egocentric, it's all about me. Great combination. And it showed in our career choices, because when we left, he went off to join the military to serve his country. And I went off to join the performing arts to serve myself. He had a fiancée, they were very much in love, and then he got called away for 2 tours. When he was over there, he had friends of his, officers, shot and killed in front of him. He had soldiers he was in charge of lose their lives. The PTSD of war, unbelievable, horrible. And to top it all off, he found out the whole time he was over there, the girl he thought he was going to marry had been cheating on him the entire time. How do you even begin to come back from that? He came back a shell of a man, but he did. He chose to progress. He enrolled in a 2-year-long officer qualification course in Nepal, and he flew over there for 2 years with a bunch of other officers from loads of different countries around the world. And the idea was at the end of the 2 years, all the ambassadors of the different countries being represented were going to come to this big ceremony and celebrate. And I said, Henry, you're my best friend. I know how hard these last 2 years have been. I'm going to save up my money. I'm going to buy a ticket. I'm going to fly over there and be at that ceremony for you because you're my best friend and I love you. He said, Tom, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever done to me. That's so kind. I went, don't mention it. He went, no, really? That's so good of you, considerate, loving. You're a caring, brilliant guy. I said, don't mention it. He went, no, Tom, you are good looking. You are humble. I think your opinion is the opinion I value. So that whole year, I saved up my money. I saved and I saved and I saved. And then eventually it got to December and I spent all my money on booze. So when Christmas came, I said, Mum, Dad, could you buy me a ticket? And they said, yes. Privilege. You got it, you might as well use it. I was so excited to go to Nepal, the other side of the world. How amazing, what an adventure. But as I was going over there, I developed the most chronic case of toothache I've ever had. Now, I don't care what you're going through in the audience. Toothache trumps everything. That is the worst pain known to man, because it's in your face. You lead with your face, just every room walking in going, ah! And it's in your mouth, which is your most commonly used orifice most of the time. So I arrived at Nepal, and Henry took me to the British embassy where he was staying. And we sat down, and he was like, it's been a great 2 years, Tom. I really think I've battled my demons. I'm feeling stronger. I'm feeling better. I'm ready to go back home. I'm feeling really great. And I was like, Henry, I couldn't give a fuck about your PTSD. My mouth's on fire. This is now the most important thing. So we're walking around Kathmandu trying to find a dentist. Now, another moment of human honesty to you. It is amazing how your dialogue of a foreign country you're in will change as soon as you need a medical procedure in it. Because when I was going over, I was like, oh my God, Nepal, a developing country, so raw, back to my roots. What a spiritual journey. The Himalayan mountains, the temples, my chakras realigned. As soon as I needed an operation, get me out of this third world fucking hellhole, piece of shit! There's an earthquake riddled. There is a cow walking through a shop over there. There's a child shitting next to a barbecue on the street. There's too many flip-flops. I want to go home. We're only human. So he looked up a place that just said dentist on Google Maps. Yeah, that's a good start. It was open the next day, 2 hours before the ceremony. I arrived at this place and it was like a building site. There was a bunch of Nepalese builders called whatever the Nepalese version of Dave is. 2 piles of rubble, monkeys swinging around, and in the middle was a doorway, on top of which was a handwritten sign that said, Happy Smiles. That is a disconcerting name for a dentist. All smiles are happy. You smile because you're happy. You shouldn't have to qualify that. It's like you wouldn't call a restaurant edible food. Yeah. All smiles are happy smiles, but I had to go. Now, I don't think I'm being a snob here. But I don't think when walking in for a major medical procedure, should anyone ever have to step over a chicken. I think it's a fair bar to have, what do you say? Just no poultry in the operation room, please. But I did, I stepped over the chicken, I sat on the dentist chair, I leant back, and then this Nepalese dentist woman came out. Now look, I can't do a Geordie accent. I really can't do a Nepalese dentist woman accent. So with your permission, I'm just going to do the most offensive foreign accent I can. Is that okay? Okay, so she came out like, oh, hello! Oh, hey, it's me! Oh, bonjour, senor! I'm a Nepalese dentist! My nephew, Pow Pow, he ran away! She had a catchphrase. She kept on going, don't worry, we'll fix your face. So I'm lying in the dentist chair, she takes the autopsy or whatever it is, I don't know, I'm not a dentist. She's like, oh, no, ay caramba. You need a root canal. I was like, oh, that's not good. No. She walks out, she comes back in a few minutes later with a drill she's clearly borrowed off one of the builders outside. It's like 6 foot long. Don't worry, we'll fix your face. Oh no, that's not going through my mouth. Sorry, I'm not having the operation, that's too scary. Come on, we'll fix your face. No, I've got to get to the ceremony. Please, no, I'm not doing it. Come on, we'll fix your face. No, I'm telling you now, I've got to go. I'm too nervous, that's not going in my mouth. No. And at that exact moment, the chicken went, and I'm like, oh, all right, I'll do it. On the proviso that you give me the strongest drugs in the entirety of Asia. She looked left and right and winked to me and went, we'll fix your face. I do not know what blue flower from what Himalayan mountain, ayahuasca, third eye, fifth realm potion she gave me, but my face fucking melted. I passed out momentarily, came to, fully expecting my head to be in a cage. Just chained to the radiator and someone going, do you want to play a game? This, and she was shaking a vial with my tooth and going, hey, look, we fixed your face! My face looked like a blobfish, like mid-parachute jump. Hey, you guys! I ran into the toilets and looked at myself in the mirror like, what the fuck did we just do, Tom? We're going to get to the embassy! I'm running over. Henry's waiting for me in the car outside the British embassy. Where is he? Jesus Christ, he's always late. Why is he always like this? For God. Tom, mate, we haven't got very long. You go, whoa, what the fuck happened to you? Hi, Henry. I have taken some very strong drugs. They fixed my face. Tom, we've got to get to the ceremony. You haven't got your suit on. Okay, so I run upstairs. I'm putting my jacket on, my trousers on. I'm tucking in my shirt, my socks. 75 million chins I've now got. I can't find my tie, so I went to the spare room, just picked up a random tie in there, stuck it on. Before you know, we're in the car, zooming through Kathmandu. Henry's in the driver's seat, cursing me out. I've got my head like out the window, like Top Gun Maverick, trying to cool it down. Mopeds are hitting me.
Ow! Henry! Ow! I can't feel my face, Henry!
Ow! Ow! He's like, Jesus Christ, why is it always about you? I'm beginning to think your ex-wife had a point. Henry, I don't think I can make the ceremony, Henry, I'm too tired. You're gonna make this goddamn ceremony. You come all this way, just sit at the back, sit in the darkness, don't talk to anyone. If anyone asks, just say you're here to see your friend Henry, and they'll leave you alone. I am here to see my friend Henry. I love you, Henry. I know. The car, Fast and the Furious, skids to a stop. Henry gets out, he sticks me in a queue with all the people going in. He goes off to join the other officers. I am mumbling to myself, incoherently, wafting through different realities. And if I'm being perfectly honest, somewhere in the back of my mind thinking, I wonder if this would make a good stand-up comedy routine. When a very smart-looking Nepalese woman sees me looking the way I am in the queue, and she comes over and she goes, oh, no, sir, no, don't worry, no, you don't have to queue up with everyone here. You come with me, I'll take you to where you're meant to be sitting. Now, calm down, London. Yes, I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking the same thing. Oh, my God, she's seen me and made a horrendous misunderstanding. She had made a misunderstanding, but it's not the one you're thinking of. It's way worse. Now, as I said, all of the ambassadors of all the different countries were due to come to the ceremony. Apart from, it turns out, our ambassador, who had decided to move house and go on holiday that week. As such, Henry had been looking after his entire wardrobe in his spare room. When I'd gone in and picked up a random tie, I'd accidentally picked up one of his ties. I was wearing it at the ceremony. She'd seen me and therefore assumed that I was the ambassador of the United Kingdom. Firstly, what does it say about the leadership of our country? That someone can see a bloke in a queue, bad teeth, talking shite and go, that's probably the British one. And she was leading me now to the front row to sit next to all of the other ambassadors. And she sat me next to the ambassador of China. What ensued was the weirdest interaction I've ever had. Because bear in mind, he thinks he's talking to the ambassador of the United Kingdom. I think he thinks he's talking to a disabled person. He's really talking to me, and I am out of my fucking mind. I walked down the aisle. Good morning. Have you been enjoying Nepal?
I'm here to see my friend Henry.
Henry is... Henry's my best friend. I do not know what international damage I've done, but that man's face was the third most confused face in the room. Mine was the second most by default. The most confused by far was my mate Henry's, who, after 2 years of battling his demons, defeating them, his big moment up on stage, he stood up, chest puffed out, big grin, strode over, went to shake the guy's hand, smiling, turned to look at the audience, and saw me in the front row like, "Hi, Henry! How the fuck did you get there?" And it was at that moment, looking at my mate's grimacing face, that I realised not all smiles are happy smiles. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bloomsbury, thank you so much! It's absolutely amazing! We'll see you soon! We'll see you afterwards! Thank you! Stewart head sticking out the back.
Well, it was... Right, where are we going?